Hey guys, welcome back to JS Lifestyle channel. It is finally the season of Apple releases. Have you already ordered yours? I personally made a rookie mistake, so I will be receiving my products only by the end of September, but hope you guys will get yours soon. I know all the big tech YouTubers already got theirs for weeks already and they just started to upload as we're recording today, but I guess that's the beauty of small YouTube channels, right? So this video will be quite short. I will be sharing you my humble thoughts of why I ordered certain products out of the Apple event and why I didn't order some others. First one is obviously the iPhone 14 Pro. So in the last recent years, I could not find the big need to go for the Pro model. Hence, I'm still using the iPhone 12 model here. But I think really this year, the difference between the Pro and normal models has become way bigger and finally gave me a justification to pay the extra bucks to go for the Pro. Also, everyone knows it's inflation period and it's quite nice that the price stayed the same, which I feel like it just gives us more value for the bucks this year. So out of the many functions that the 14 Pro provides, I have to start with the biggest, which is the dynamic island. Besides of the naming of this, where every other channel is making fun of it, when I was watching the event, I was positively shocked when they showed it at the Apple event. I know we already know how Apple does business, and you might have already heard in other channels, but it really surprises me how Apple is taking something that is preserved to be not so great into something really special in their own way. For example, like when they first took away the headphone jack and then introduced the AirPods, which became one of the most selling earbuds in the world right now. Probably that is one of the reasons why Apple is one of the biggest players when it comes to smartphone markets, right? So back to Dynamic Island. This function is definitely not something that will massively change how you use your smartphone, but I definitely want to test out the use case. And right now, I think it's mostly going to be the basic apps that Apple provides. But once more apps are supported, I really want to know how far the developers can go with this. Another big point why I decided to go for the Pro model this time is due to the camera functions. I know camera functions were always better than the normal model, but I couldn't find like a distinctive reason to go for the Pro instead of the normal models in the past. But as everyone knows, the pixel of the iPhone camera has been stuck in 12 megapixel for quite some time, but now they're providing up to 48 megapixel for the Pro RAW. So without boring you with like 48 megapixel or 12 megapixel, let's just put those numbers aside and think about knowing how iPhone cameras can do so much with fewer pixel counts in the last decades even. I'm very looking forward to the upgrade this time. Not to mention the cinematic mode providing 4K resolution, and the action mode is definitely catching my attention and I would like to try it out. Besides these, there are of course more functions added to the new Pro model this year, like always on display, crash detection, satellite function, etc, etc. But at least for me, the dynamic island and the camera, these were the 2 pointers for me why I ordered an iPhone 14 Pro. So that was my first product. What is the second product? So my second product that I ordered is the AirPods Pro 2. Right? The most boring products of this release. So I was thinking about it. Why doesn't AirPods Pro 2 have that vibe like Apple Watch Ultra or the iPhone? I think it's like, when it comes to audio related products, it is really hard to measure how much of an improvement we are going to get. Because if you're going to get a bigger screen, if you're going to get a bigger camera, you can show it on the stage, but it is very limited to show how much better audio quality you will be getting from the second generation, right? But I was already a great fan of the AirPods Pro first generation, so we'll definitely get my hands on the second generation and compare it for you the best way possible once I get my hands on them. So not to mention only the audio quality, they have actually added small speakers to the case, which will be a great plus for me because since I was already using my Find My iPhone function where I use my Apple Watch to ring my iPhone in order to find where exactly my iPhone is. So similarly, you can do that with the AirPods case. So considering the AirPods cases are smaller than the iPhones, I think I will be quite often use this function. Also, from the first generation, one thing I didn't like so much is that the volume control can only be used by the phone or Apple Watch, which they added this time to the earbuds. You can directly change your volume from the earbuds, which is definitely something I'm looking forward to. For the new Apple Watch Series 8 or SE, since the upgrades were very slight or minor upgrades, and I already own the Apple Watch Series 7, it wasn't even in my consideration list, to be honest. Now for the Ultra, right? So before they released it, I was positively considering buying the so-called Apple Watch Pro version, but this sounds more like a professional athlete watch, if you know what I mean. I don't mind the flat watch design with the bulkier form factor because it is known to provide longer battery life, which was definitely one of the areas that the previous watches were lacking. However, as many people on the internet would call it, the Ultra Apple Watch, at least for me, sounded like a GoPro for your wrists, right? So let's say if I purchased it. Of course, I will be using it a couple of times in really tough workouts or adventures, but considering I never broke my Apple Watch until now, not sure if that justifies for me to go for a more firmer and shock resistance Ultra model instead of my 7. Furthermore, regardless whether I like it or not, one of the beauty of the Apple Watch was that it goes well in terms of aesthetic with any occasions, if you just find the right band for it, right? But the Ultra does not look like something I would wear in a client meeting or conference at work. So for now, even though I might change my mind in the future, I will stick to my Apple Watch Series 7 for the time being. So these were a couple of my thought processes, why I purchased certain new Apple products and which I didn't. Have you already ordered yours, or did you already receive yours? Please leave a comment if you agree or disagree with my thoughts, because I would like to learn more aspects that I couldn't think of from you guys. If this video was useful, please hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.